Control, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about courage. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. So, what made me want to talk about being courageous is I started to think about a lot of the things that we as adults might be afraid of. And most children don't know that adults become afraid. Like, once you become a parent, all your concern is making sure that that kid is good. And whatever you're doing in life, you want to make sure they're protected. You want to make sure that they are encouraged. You want to make sure that they know that they have a safe environment, that they feel loved. And as adults, sometimes that courage or that thing that we say makes us weak is a thing that carries on into our adulthood. And sometimes it can make us afraid in certain areas. For me, it might look like being afraid in relationships or being afraid when I get to know new people or something like that. And it's so funny because I always used to just be so quiet and I would just be to myself. I would just feel like my voice didn't matter. And I'm saying this because I feel like this is a safe space. And really, it doesn't matter. You know, what really matters is what God thinks of me and that I'm helping somebody. So that's like the main point. And so when I was a kid, I always felt, and even as an adult, until God put it on my heart and to be in purpose to help and to speak and to help other people, I really felt like my voice didn't matter. That was the whole reason why I was shy when I was growing up. I was shy because I really felt like no matter what I say, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to want to hear me speak because I have a lisp. No one is going to want to hear what it is that I have to say because it's not going to matter to anybody else. And I felt that way from the time I was young until I started my healing journey. Once I got out of my marriage, I started working on myself, everything else. I started to get more courage to be able to speak on the things that really bothered me, the things that really were troubling me. And it really made me think about how us as adults, we can be afraid of things and we feel like we don't have what's necessary to move forward. We don't have what's necessary to do the things that we want to do in life. And the thing is, we have everything that we need. We might not have what the person next to us have. We might not have what the person on Instagram has. They might not even have that. But we do have everything that we need. And sometimes for me, and I'm only saying me a lot because I don't want to just generalize a statement. And I feel like me being, there I go again. I feel like making it more personable will help someone else. And so that's the only reason I'm doing that. So when I think about being weak, sometimes we think weakness is when you let someone else be right about something when they're right. Or you feel like you're being weak because you're allowing someone to see you in a vulnerable position because you're allowing them to be a part of your life. And I'm learning the older that I get that your meekness is not a weakness. Your meekness is a strength. That is you being better, stronger, dealing with all of the things, forbearing, patient, peaceful, reverent, retiring, humble, modest is meekness. It is not a weakness. And sometimes we feel like for me, like if I was talking to someone or something, I would feel like I have to be either right, not like I want to be right all the time, but I would feel like if I let the person be right or know that they're right about something, it would give them this power over me. But I don't think anything's wrong with admitting that you're wrong about things in life because that's an area for me to grow. That's an area for me to be better. That's an area for me to learn something about myself and something about the other person. I used to feel like I had to know everything. Like I got to have the answers. I got to pass every single test that any man throws at me. Any person in my life that tries me, I just have to be on it all the time. Nobody is on it all the time. I think we got to start extending ourselves some grace and really being emotionally intelligent enough to admit our wrongs, because being right all the times means that you're not learning. It means that you are not willing to fail to succeed. And I know some people are probably thinking, how can I fail and succeed? Because failure is going to be necessary in order for you to grow. Failure means that you're trying. Failure means that you're doing something to move towards your goal. It means that you are taking a step forward. It means that although you're not being perfect, you're making mistakes that are allowing you to be able to learn from those mistakes to move forward to be a better person in the future. Sometimes in life, when things don't go the way that we plan, we get a little afraid. We feel like we don't have the courage, the strength necessary to move forward, but I promise you, you have everything that you need. For me, relationships are so scary because sometimes I think about, am I going to be perfect enough for whoever this person is? Even though I think I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm honest, all of the things that we tell ourselves, all of the things that the Bible says that we are, that we're the head and not the tail, that we're above only and not beneath, that we're a holy nation, a royal priesthood, more precious than rubies, that we're more than a conqueror. Even though the Bible says all of those things and we may believe it, for me, when I meet friends, when I'm new friends, when I meet a potential partner or whoever it is, I always feel like I have to be perfect. I feel like if I don't do everything exactly perfect, then I'm going to mess up everything. Or all of a sudden they're going to see me as unperfect, even though I'm not perfect. All of a sudden they're going to have this stigma about me. They're going to put me in a box, or they're going to be like, oh, well, I don't like her because she's not perfect or whatever else. And I know some people won't admit that. They'll be like, I don't care what anybody thinks. You care about what somebody thinks. Let's be real. And although it sounds good to pretend as if you don't care about anyone else's opinion but your own, sometimes people's opinions matter. Sometimes when people do say things, it does hurt. Sometimes when you allow yourself to be vulnerable in relationships, you do get hurt. Especially if you care about somebody, they're not going to be perfect and they're humans. They're going to hurt your feelings because they're most of them are being real with you, or because, insecurities, whatever else. But there's going to be something that happens because you guys are not the same person. So for me, I'm trying to learn how to be more emotionally intelligent and to find a healthy balance where I can actually be not perfect, where I can actually stand on my standards and boundaries and actually just be about it. Like, I don't want to say put my foot down, but be in a place where I have healthy standards and boundaries and speak up, but also not speak up in times when I don't need to speak up, when I can just let stuff go. And it's a really hard for me because I have this thing in the back of my mind, like, oh, everybody's going to try to walk all over you. Everybody's going to try to take advantage of you. And not everybody's going to do that, because although I'm not perfect, although I might not always know the right thing to do, I'm saying I a lot in this video. I'm just sitting here like it's too much I going on when I'm supposed to be serving the people. And I'm hoping that my story is helping some other women that's struggling, feeling like she has to be perfect, or feeling like she doesn't know the answers of how she's going to continue in life, or feeling like she's missing out on something, or feeling like, oh, this thing is happening to her and all of a sudden it's going to stunt her entire life. It's not stunning anything. I promise you that it's just a lesson in life. I promise you that you're going to succeed. You're going to continue. You're going to have all the things that God promised you. You're going to be successful in your life. There's nothing that's happening to you in this moment that is a determinant of what your life is going to be. That is just a moment in your life. It is not forever. Everything that is happening to you, good, bad, or indifferent, is something that is a moment that's teaching you something so that you can be better for the future. You are not your moment. You are not defined by a mistake. You are not defined by a single decision. You are defined by the steps that you make after each decision is had. After you make a choice and maybe you make the wrong choice, after you fail, after you do something great, every single decision that you make is something that will propel you forward, that you can learn from, that you can grow from. You are amazing. I just want you to understand and take a moment and celebrate all of your wins instead of thinking of what you don't have in this moment, or what you're not doing right, or your meekness is a weakness, or whatever else you're thinking. This is a moment to be courageous and knowing that no matter what you're going through, God is going to be with you always. No matter what is happening around you, no matter if you're not perfect, because no one's perfect but God, know that everything is going to be okay. I promise you that trouble don't last always. I know it's cliche, but it was just, when something hit like that, it's so true. Joy comes in the morning. You, everything that you're going through right now seems like it's going to last forever, but it's not. I made a decision earlier today that was not the best decision. I was in my own head. I was feeling insecure, and I can admit that in this video because listen, it's human nature. It's something that just happens. We all have flaws. We all mess up. We all do things wrong, and I just don't want you to beat yourself up about it. I want you to be emotionally intelligent enough to think about your pros and cons, things that you're great at and things that you're not so great at. Work on your weakest things and your strengths. Use all of those things to be a better person. Even though you might not feel super courageous in this moment because of whatever's happening in your life, be brave. Know that everything is going to be okay. And know that, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, God is with me always. And I know a lot of people say that at, funerals or whatever else, but that is just a reminder that God is with you no matter where you're going. The lowest valley, the highest mountain, everything. God is always there. And sometimes we can feel like we're going through things alone, or like the decisions that we're making is everything. Like all of a sudden now all of these things are not going to happen in my life because of one decision. That's one decision. It's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. Keep going. You got to keep your head up. You can't look down. In the past, I was going through this really difficult moment, and I was like, God, I just want to give up right now. I just don't want to keep going. I'm so exhausted. I don't have the energy to keep doing this. And I was in a really weird moment, and I was like, I just want to lay down on this floor right now and just give up. I don't want to do this. Like, can I just stay here? And God said something to me that was so funny. It's funny now. In the moment, I was just like, "Oh snap! He had to come at me like that." I was literally about to lay down on this floor, on this cold floor, and God was like, "I did not pick you up from that floor that time when you rededicated your life to me for you to end up back there. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You're stronger than you think that you are." You might want to give up in this moment because this moment feels like forever, but I promise you it's not going to last always. It is just a moment. Pick your head up. Don't you dare look down at the floor. Don't you dare lay back down on the floor and pretend like you're about to give up after everything that I've brought you through. All of those things in the past that you've been through that you thought you never were going to make it through, and you made it to today. You can make it through anything. I promise you that. You can make it through anything. This is just a moment. Keep going. You have strength inside of you that you never even knew existed. The only thing that's standing in your way is you. Don't think about all the bad things. Think about all the blessings that you have in your life. When you start thinking about how grateful and thankful you are, no matter what your situation or your circumstances, it will really lift you up. It will really remind you who God is. The God that I serve, He's the type of God that spins the block. He's the type of God that will make a way out of no way. He's the type of God at 11:59 and 59 seconds will be like 1 second, just change your entire life. He's the type of God that you think that this is a bad circumstance and this is really a blessing in disguise. He's the type of God that will make you feel like, I don't know how it's going to work out. And all of a sudden, bam. It's like, I've been through so many different things in my life and I didn't see how I was going to make it out of there. But God, you know what I'm saying? And so many times in life, we get down because of a moment thinking that defines everything, and it doesn't. God determines our destiny. Always remember who's in control. Because if we try to make it seem like it's our control, like we got to do something, then we're looking at it all wrong. Because with God, everything is possible. Know that He got you. He did not bring you this far to leave you. He is not trying to bring you somewhere that He doesn't have a strategic plan to take you out of. Turn to Him, look to Him, pray. I promise you everything is going to be okay. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good, amazing, magnificent Monday.